5 of My Hero Academia is over, and I can't really believe it. I can't believe that it's over. It doesn't feel real that it's over now. Overall thoughts, it was not my favorite season. It just felt like it was lacking a little something, at least for me. I still had a fun time getting to see my favorite Class 1A kiddos back. There was a lot of cool stuff that happened this season. There were a lot of great moments this season that I think still made the season very fun and enjoyable. But between some of the animation issues they had and just feeling like some of the arcs kind of got rushed a little bit, it was still a good season, and I can't wait to see where season 6 goes. I've seen a couple spoilers for here and there. None of us are ready. I'm not ready. Would I rank this season in terms of my other seasons? I would have to say season 2 is still my favorite. Then season 3, just 1 point below it. You have season 4, and then season 5, and then season 1. I don't think it's as horrible as everyone is saying it is. I don't think it's a horrible season. I just think it felt kind of rushed, and some of the animation was a little off and wonky. Made some characters that are normally like hot, not hot. But I don't think it's a horrible season. I just think it kind of suffered. This video is going to be chocked full of spoilers. I'm just going to jump right into spoilers right now. So if you have not seen season 5 of My Hero Academia, leave, because I do not want to spoil you. Spoilers start now. Just like when they were doing Class 1A versus Class 1B matches. I love getting to see the characters do basic hero training and just like fight against each other. Like basic mundane like high school, middle school stuff, you know, like basic hero training. Well, I do love them doing those epic fights in like season 3 where they have to go up against the villains, or Deku and the whole overhaul arc. They have like life or death situations. I think we just need to step back and realize these are kids. They're like 15, 16-year-old freaking kids. Like getting to see them do mundane things as well as like the big epic fight. Despite how much shit and stuff they've been through, they are still kids at the end of the fucking day. That they're literally gonna be second years now. Oh my god, they've come so far. I want to start off with the Endeavor Hero Agency arc, because that arc, I don't know, I have a lot of feelings about Endeavor. After season 4, and we see him kind of like take the #1 spot, and he defeats those Nomos, really kind of earns the #1 spot, and his kids are watching him, I started to kind of be like, you know what? I still hate Endeavor. I still don't like what he did to his family. I'll never forgive him for that, and I don't know if I'll ever want to forgive him for that. A very well-written character in the sense of that he knows what he's done is wrong, and he's trying to really show his kids that he does care about them, that he does love them after everything that he's done, and he's trying to not necessarily move past it and forget it, but trying to grow from that experience and try to be better. That's why he tries to reach out to Shoto, and like he wants to be his father figure again. But there's so much pain in season 4. I was like leaning towards, okay, I'm starting to see where Endeavor can go. I don't like him as a person, as a pro hero. I think he's fantastic. Through the Endeavor Agency arc, where Deku and Bakugo are asked by Todoroki to join Todoroki in Endeavor's agency and train under him, a lot of pain there that we see, and not just what Deku and Bakugo have heard, because they know what the situation. There's a lot of pain in terms of what Endeavor did. You hear more about their situation. I still am very conflicted about how I feel about Endeavor. He's done so much. Not only did he isolate his son Shoto from the rest of his family because he wanted Shoto to be this great prodigy. He wanted to produce an amazing, powerful child, which is Shoto. He pushed him at a very young age. He isolated Shoto from his other siblings, and in turn ignored his other 2 children, Natsu and Fumiya. There's what he did to his wife. That's why she poured the boiling kettle of hot water on Shoto's face, because she couldn't take the pain and the hurt and the abuse that Endeavor was doing onto his family and onto her. She couldn't take it. She saw Todoroki's left side and she just could not take it anymore. As soon as she did what she did, she regretted it instantly, because she's like, that's my child. What she did, Endeavor put her in a mental hospital. There's the pain of what happened with their other child, Toya. So much pain and hurt there that I don't know if I'll ever forgive Endeavor, and I don't even know if his own kids will. I know Fumiya, Todoroki invites Deku and Bakugo home to have dinner with his family, with Natsu and Fumiya and their father. Fumiya really wants their family to get back together. She really wants that happy family again, and she sees that their mom is very close to being let out of the mental hospital and very close to being able to come home. Their father's starting to change. Shoto is coming around now more. He's having a connection and relationship relationship with his siblings again. She sees the potential of things are starting to get a little better. We're starting to heal, even though there's so much pain there. Let's try to be a family again. I get where Fumi is coming from. She sees that her family is starting to heal. She's dealing with the pain and the hurt in her own way. Very different from what Natsu's doing. And I get where she's coming from. She wants that happy family dynamic again because their mom is also trying to forgive Endeavor. Then you have Natsu who comes home for the dinner and he just can't do it. And I understand where he's coming from as well. He and Toya were so close. He and Toya were very close as children. All the pain and hurt that happened with Toya, his death. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you'll know. Natsu blames their father for what happened to Toya, and he just can't forgive his father. Between that, isolating Shoto from them for so long. Well, he didn't even know what Shoto's favorite food was until recently because he had really no relationship with Shoto. And even Endeavor starts to realize this when Natsu is walking home from the family house. He gets taken by a villain that Endeavor took into custody 7 years ago. All Endeavor can think of is getting his son back. Really, when Endeavor hears what Natsu has to say and how Natsu doesn't have a good heart like Todoroki, he doesn't want to forgive his father. He doesn't know if he ever can. He feels like his father is just like trying to brush everything under the rug. It's even like what Deku says. Deku notices that Todoroki is wrestling with himself and is getting very close to forgive his father, and he sees that Shoto has a kind heart for that because he wants to forgive his father. If Shoto is ready to forgive his father, I can see why, and I understand why he is ready to forgive his father. So much pain and hurt there. But Shoto sees that he's trying to be better. He's trying not necessarily to move past it and forget about it, but he's trying to do what he can for the family. And Shoto makes it very clear when he starts to work under his father, he does not want to be his father. He wants to be a hero in his own way, in his own terms. He's just here to learn from his father and get all the tips and tricks that his father uses because his father is a very good hero. As a human being, he's kind of a piece of shit. But as a hero, Endeavor is a very good hero. Todoroki acknowledges that and knows that. That's why he's studying under his father, not to follow in his father's footsteps, but to use what his father has for quirk knowledge and use that and better equip his quirk and better use his quirk to his full advantage. But Endeavor realizes that he needs to kind of step away. He's had a dream for many nights now of him seeing his family happy. Shoto, Fumiya, Natsu, and his wife Rei all happy at a dinner table, smiling, laughing, but he's not there. It's really when he tells Natsu all of this at the end, he needs to step away. Realizes that there's so much pain and hurt there, and he doesn't want Natsu's forgiveness. He just wants to try to atone for what he did. He just wants to start to build back their relationship. He doesn't want to be forgiven. He says he does not want to be forgiven. Maybe because he knows that he'll never be forgiven, but also because he knows that he doesn't deserve Natsu's forgiveness. I think he just needs to atone for his mistakes, try to build a healthy relationship with his family, and he thinks the best way to do that, and I think it's the best way, in my opinion, to distance himself from his family. Once his wife is able to move back home, she is going to live under this roof with Natsu, Shoto, and Fumiya, and he is going to live in a separate building, a separate home. There's so much pain and hurt that he's caused. Also, all of that pain has alienated each member of his family away from each other. In terms of him being forgiven or at least atoning for his mistakes, I think the first step, like he says, is to have his wife, his daughter, and his 2 sons under one roof and them build their relationship back up without Endeavor, and Endeavor just do his own thing. He realizes that that dream is like a sign. It's a vision that he, for the time being, should have really no part in his family's life. The only way to help that pain heal, or at least start to mend the broken pieces, the shattered glass, is to have Endeavor out of the picture. And honestly, I think that's for the best. But I see his potential to grow, and I've seen his potential of growth, and I think he still has a little bit of ways to go, but I think he's getting there. So another thing that happened kind of in season 4 that is now brought into full-on force in season 5, Deku's dream that he has. At the end of season 4, we see kind of like a preview for season 5, kind of see Deku have this dream about all the previous holders of One for All. We learn a lot about the power, we learn about the 2 brothers, we learn about All for One. I love getting to learn a little bit more about this quirk, because it's a very unique quirk. All for One had a younger brother. Originally had no quirk. And so because his younger brother had no quirk, All for One decided to give his brother a part of his quirk, or give him a quirk. It was forced upon his younger brother. However, his younger brother actually did have a quirk, but because it was a quirk of stockpile, stockpiling, he couldn't really use the quirk because he would need another quirk to activate that quirk. That's why when Deku ends up getting this new power, Black Whip, when he's doing his match against Shinzo, he awakens Black Whip and it goes into his body and he meets one of the previous holders. His quirk was Black Whip. Deku is able to use all of these previous holders' quirk, something that no other holder of One For All has been able to use. In that little vision that he has, original holder of this quirk had a stockpiling quirk. So that's why Deku is able to use all these other previous holders' quirks. He has all these previous holders' quirks. Oh my god, that's so cool! Because the younger brother was not able to stop the older brother with his quirk, he would pass down the quirk that his brother gave him through different generations, through different successors, would put the burden on them of defeating his brother all for one. Have that unspoken burden of, hey, you get this amazing quirk, but now you have to defeat this long-time enemy. Congratulations! He tells Deku that all of their quirks are mixed into the core of this original power. All for One is growing. It is expanding. Deku is kind of like, not necessarily the final holder, I don't believe, or maybe he is. I guess the vision of now he has all these quirks and he is the first user to be able to use all of them, which is pretty dope. But it's kind of scary because when Black Whip comes out for the first time, he has no control over it because we learned from the quirk holder that Deku needs to have control over his heart. He thought so much about attacking and capturing Monoma. He's being rash, he had that anger in him. In turn, Black Whip would be the best quirk to use, and so that's what came out. Black Whip was the best designed to capture someone. So each previous holder's quirk is manifested more and becomes more powerful, but because of all these previous holders' quirks growing now inside of Deku because he had One For All, the power is so overwhelming for Deku that he can't control it at first. And you have Uraraka, oh my god, Uraraka, we love her. She risked her life because there's so many times that Deku has saved her, or so many times that he has risked his life, rushed in there and saved someone else. Uraraka sees her opportunity, sees this chance of, it's my time to save Deku. She sees how people being rescued are so happy. She wants to be able to rescue him. Begs Shinzo to brainwash Deku so they can get him under control. Shinzo does. She's like, oh, thank God. Deku ends up working really hard in this season with his heart and having an open mind and really controlling his heart. He's not able to use Black Whip in full capacity yet. During this same match, he uses it again, but only for a short amount of time. So he's starting to really grow, manage and take control of these other previous wielder quirks, even though it's going to be a big process. Starting to tackle Black Whip and start to make it kind of his own. Still a lot. Like I said before, I love getting to see Class 1A just have like this mundane training stuff. Of course, opening of season 5 is Class 1A versus Class 1B, which is really cool because I only know a few classmates from Class 1B, like Tetsu, Kendo. I know a few, but like I don't know like anyone, and we got to see them kind of like really shine. Well, yeah, I was rooting for Class 1A because like I know these guys better and I love Class 1A. I was still like, I can't wait to see what Kendo and Tetsu do. But we also get to see the return of Shinzo! We only see him for a couple episodes and then he's gone again for the rest of the season, which I was like, damn it! I love getting to see him versus Midoriya in season 2, and then they kind of get a rematch in this season, which I was very excited about. And Shinzo has come a long way. Shinzo is back because he wants to transfer into the hero course. Yay! Holding Class 1A versus Class 1B challenges and putting Shinzo on each different class team exam to see how much he's learned as he's been training with Aizawa. Shinzo's brainwashing quirk works very well. To have the added help of the scarf, I think is really cool. Not to mention, Shinzo has a mask now, which is so cool. I don't know the exact logistics of this mask. Basically, he can change the frequency of his voice, and he can mimic other people's voices and talk like them. He can brainwash other people using other people's voices. Ends up using his voice modulating mask to trick the Beast guy from Class 1B into thinking it's his teammate, but this guy's like, I don't believe you. I'm not gonna fall for that again. But it is actually the real teammate that is actually talking to him, but he thinks it's Shinzo's mask, and just, it's so cool. He kind of fumbles a little bit in his first match, but it was really cool to see him like overcome things and learn. At the same time, he's being paired up with Class 1A and Class 1B. Both of them have been through so much, especially Class 1A. They've been through a ton of shit. Obviously, he's got a long way to go. He's behind, but I know that he can work hard, be a good hero like he wants to be with the new mask and the scarves. I think it's really cool. I want to see more Shinzo in the future. His speech match. Both classes, he's like, I'm not here to make friends. There's a meme that I saw on Twitter. Shinzo being like, I'm not here to make any friends. And then Todoroki at the side is looking at him like, first time? And Kaminari's trying to tell him, you're really awesome. And I'm like, Kaminari and Shinzo, you're gonna be best friends. Shinzo, don't even deny it. You can't tell me otherwise. Second match is Team Kendo versus Team Yaoyorozu. But I love getting to see Tokoyami put into use this new move that he learned from Hawks. It was really cool to see him really step up to the plate. Granted, Class 1A does not win. Class 1B ends up winning, which I was totally okay with because like Kendo has learned a lot and she's grown as well. I love getting to see Yaoyorozu grow as well. She did a really nice job. She fought looking ahead, really came up with some good game plans. And we have the third match, which I really like this match because you had Shoto, I love Todoroki, you had Ida, Shoji, and Ojiro versus Team Tetsu and other people's names who I don't know. I know there's that mud guy who can turn solid things into a liquid. He's cool. I like him. Don't remember his name. This match was pretty intense. I think Ida, Tetsu, and Todoroki were kind of like the MVPs of this episode. So Ida learned from his brother he could take the mufflers out of his legs and tune them, and in turn it would make him faster. So now he can use his quirk without a time limit, which is so dope. Todoroki ends up trying to freeze them, and the mud guy takes his ice and like melts it and like gets everyone stuck. Ida is able to break out of that ice. He does this Super Saiyan, like super speed running around the mud guy. It's just so cool. I was like, oh. Ida! He was so cool in this match. And then you have Todoroki versus Tetsu. Oh my god! Todoroki ends up making this huge ass firewall, but since Tetsu, like with Class 1A, has been working on his quirk, he's able to stand higher temperatures, so he casually just walks through Todoroki's fire like it's nothing. This won't work on me, flame boy! Todoroki ends up going beyond his limit, makes more huge fire, heats up everything so it's so hot, starts melting the cameras and other shit. Oh my god! Shoto, at one point, he summons this freaking huge ass magma fireball. Todoroki, calm down! Match 4. Match 4 was a very fun match. I have my issues with Bakugo. I love Bakugo. As my shirt depicts, he's a raging ball of like frustrating energy, but at the same time, I love our angry Pomeranian. But at the same time, he infuriates me to no avail. So we have Bakugo with Jiro, Sugar Rush, and Sero versus more kids that I don't know who their names are. I'm sorry, Class 1B. I promise I don't hate you. It's just I don't know any of you very well. Besides Tetsu, and Kendo. Of course, in typical Bakugo fashion, he's calling all of his fellow classmates, teammates names. Why can't you work together? Just kidding. They end up working together. Bakugo has this plan of he's learning to really trust others, push his teammates out of the way because he has this plan of when he's in danger, they save him, and when they're in danger, he will save them. So he's really learning to trust others, and he's come a very long way. Sure, he still gets angry and snaps at people, but he's learning to trust others and rely on people and realize that I'm not in this alone. I love seeing progress, even if it's small progress. Like his progress from like season 1 to now has been really good. Of course, because it's Team Bakugo and all these other really cool people. Like Sugar Rush does some really awesome stuff. Sero is really cool. And the match doesn't even last 5 minutes. That's how you know Bakugo is a badass. He is really serious about being number 1. I think the episode got the most reaction out of me, or at least the one that I cried the most at. Definitely episode 19 with Present Mike, Aizawa, and Kirigiri. Now, Kirigiri is one of my favorite villains. Now after learning what I know about him, it's like, I don't know how I feel anymore. Oh no! Basically, Aizawa and Present Mike are brought to the Tartarus prison, and Kirigiri is there, and they're going to talk to Kirigiri. Why? Because Kirigiri has a quirk similar to one of their good friends from their days at UA. They had a good friend during their days of UA, Shirakuma, whose goal was for them to become heroes together. He wanted them to open up an agency, all 3 of them together, so they could run their agency together, which was so cute. During their internship, he died. We learned that Kirigiri is a Nomu of all things. Shirakuma's corpse was used as the base to make Kirigiri. One of their best friends, Kuma's own corpse, was used for Kirigiri's body. They had the funeral for their friend. It was not his real body. Oh my god! Their best oh my god, poor Mike. poor present Mike and Aizawa. Oh my god, like, why must you bring me pain? Aizawa, that's trying to use his erasing quirk on Kirogiri to be able to maybe see his friend again. The whole time Aizawa's doing this, he is like crying, holding up the goggles because his goggles were some of the exact same goggles that his friend had. He's like begging him, like, we can be heroes together. Come on, come back to us. I'm just bawling my eyes out at this point. Like, that's why Aizawa is so hard on his students. He doesn't want his students to be reckless with their lives, aimlessly do things. He wants them to take things seriously. What happened to his friend doesn't happen to his students. And I'm like, oh my god, Aizawa. Kirigiri's kind of freaking out. He's like, what are you doing to me? And you can see part of the mist kind of goes away and you can see half of their friend's real face. I'm starting to tear up again just thinking about it. I don't know if they're ever gonna get their friend back. I don't know. But like I said before, the 5th match is where it's Deku, Uravity, Mina, and Mineta versus Monoma and Shinzo. Black Whip comes out, Uraraka has to save him. Shinzo brainwashes him. Team Deku wins because, like, it's Deku. Like, Todoroki and Bakugo finally get their provisional licenses. They finally took their exams, so they got it. Last season, they graced us with a school festival, which is something that I wanted My Hero Academia to do for so long because so many other animes have like a festival, like a school festival thing. Finally had one last season. I was so happy. This season, they graced us with the Christmas episode, which, as a lover of Christmas, I loved it. Everyone is dressed up in Santa costumes, and Ida goes even further, and he has a freaking Santa Claus beard. Hang on. You mean to tell me Ida is Santa Claus? Everyone on their Santa Claus costumes, on their hats, everyone has something to do with their quirk. Sarah has a little tape dispenser. Kirishima has a little rock. I love it. So cute. The attention to detail. Jiro has like a little music note. It's so cute. And then to top off all of the cuteness, Harry comes dressed up in a Santa Claus costume as well because she doesn't really know much about holidays. He says trick or treat to everyone, and everyone has a secret Santa change. It's just, I love everything about this. Everything that was going on this season that has to do a lot with the second half of the season. We're going now into the 6th season, Meta Liberation Arc. A lot of people, including myself for a little bit of time, were thinking, is Hawks evil? He's now a secret agent for the Hero Commission. The Hero Commission wanted him to kind of like get in with the League of Villains to find out what they're doing and find out about where the missing Nomus are. He and Dabi are kind of like meeting up, exchanging things. I'm wondering if Dabi is kind of like a double agent somehow too. I don't know, there's something going on with Hawks and Dabi. No, Hawks gives Endeavor Meta Liberation book, some like this secret puzzle. How the enemy is the Liberation Army, has numbers over hundreds of thousands, which is crazy. Rise up in 4 months, which I'm assuming is what Class 1A is going to be doing in Season 6, is they are going to be going up against Meta Liberation, or now Paranormal Liberation Front. That's gonna be fucking insane, and I don't know if I'm ready. It was started by this guy named Destro. When quirks were starting to first manifest, people were able to use their powers willy-nilly, whatever, but they started putting in more rules and laws and regulations for all these people that had like intense quirks, probably like kind of like Bakugo's, you know, like Todoroki's, where they're very intense and very powerful. Destro and a bunch of other people were like, we don't like this. We want to be able to use our quirks 100%, no rules, no regulation. Destro started this Meta Liberation group of people. People found out about them, the police kind of found out about them, kind of like disbanded for a little while, and now present day you have Destro. His stress quirk is literally what my quirk would be if I was in My Hero Academia. All of his stress, he can store up, he stores it up, changes into like the super powerful force. In all honesty, I would literally be a god if I had that quirk because I'm stressed 24/7. It's really actually a cool quirk. Destro and a bunch of other people are in charge of this front. They kind of see the League of Villains as like their enemies, like, you're in my way. Like Tomura, Shigaraki kind of wants to destroy Hero Society. Destro's like, no, I want to like have it my way. He sees the League as kind of like, you're in my way, but cockroaches, I gotta step on you. The Liberation Army decides to capture Kirin, this guy who brought Toga and Dabi and Twice into the League, gave them a place to call their own. The League has to go and rescue this guy. guy. We end up learning a lot about Tomura and Toga and Twice. Twice is one of my favorite League of Villains guys. So getting to see more about his past, oh my god, there's so much tragic backstory there. I just want to give him a hug and be like, it's gonna be okay, buddy. It's gonna be okay. We've seen a flashback. At 16 years old, Twice ran over a guy accidentally, and the guy ended up being a client and was a client for the place that Twice worked. Twice got fired from that job. His parents both died when he was in middle school. He had no one. He was lonely. That's why he created another version of himself, another Twice, to have someone to talk to, have someone to listen to him, someone just like have a conversation with, because he felt so lonely. He kept making more copies of himself, to the point where all of those copies thought they were the real Twice, and they ended up killing each other. Twice kind of split. He didn't know which one was the real Twice. He didn't know if he was the real one. Overwhelmed him, and he ended up splitting and creating this double personality, and that's why he has the mask on, because the mask kind of keeps him sane, or keeps him together. Much as I do not like Toga, she creeps me the fuck out. I appreciate that Toga is really there for Twice. She cares about him, wants to keep him whole. When Toga like looks like she's on the brink of dying, Twice just like jumps into action, and he's like, don't hurt Toga! Toga cares about me! So Toga and Twice's like little friendship, like connection bond they have, I appreciate, and I love how much they protect each other. Twice ends up creating a bunch doubles of himself, like hundreds of Tomura and Dabi and a bunch of the other guys, to the tower where Redestro is. Shigaraki being like, I don't know, he just gets Super Saiyan this season, ends up crumbling the tower, and he has to fight Redestro. It was just like this epic fight. And then we have Tomura. Shigaraki. Oh my god, this boy, this guy, he creeped me the fuck out. After seeing what he kind of like went through in his backstory, damn Shigaraki. I forget this every single time, but Shigaraki is Nana's grandson, All Might's master's grandson. So his father, as a child, had this absolute rule for his family. We don't talk about heroes. We don't want to be heroes. Like, no hero talk in this house. That way, because his mother, Nana, he felt abandoned by his mother, but his mother really had no choice. She didn't want to bring him into this world, drag him into her lifestyle. She didn't want him a part of that and to be in danger, so she abandoned him, left him. He hates heroes because of it. He's very pissed at his son for wanting to be a hero. And one day, Tomura, through his sister, finds a picture of his grandmother, Nana, and learns that she was a hero. And he gets very excited because he wants to be a hero so badly himself. He and his sister make this pact of when they grow up, they're gonna be heroes together. Doesn't really happen. Father finds out about the picture and how Tomura knows. He hits Tomura, just like, you mother... Tomura is so upset, and he accidentally decays his dog. Sister comes out to comfort him. Tomura freaking out because he doesn't want his sister to go tell on him. He's trying to tell his sister, no, I didn't mean to. He ends up crumbling and decaying his sister away too. Oh no, not a tragic character backstory. I'm a sucker for these. And then he crumbles his whole family, leaving his dad for last. Part of me understands why he did it, but at the same time, I'm like, he was so angry. All that pain and anger of no one standing up to his father for all the pain that he caused Tomura, and he couldn't take no one standing up for him. Like, he just couldn't take it anymore. Got to him, and he just like crumbled. They just let it happen, and it just got to him. And that happens when you are subjected to something for so long in your life. You just snap. All this pent-up anger and frustration you have and being subjected to something, and one day it'll just become too much and overflow. And he didn't mean to hurt his family. He just couldn't take it anymore. All for One finds him on the street, takes him in. I didn't know this. I originally thought the hands were like fake, maybe like plastic No, those are the hands of his family members. I find that disturbing. He has this insane fight with Redestro, which, oh my god, that whole fight defeats Redestro, and Redestro, seeing how like amazing and how powerful Tomura is, he puts Tomura, Shigaraki, in charge of the Meta Liberation Front. The League of Villains are working with the Meta Liberation Front, and now they are called Paranormal Liberation Front. Shigaraki's just sitting there in a cape. He's got white hair now. He looks like a fucking king. Shit's gonna go down. Shit's gonna go down. All Might pulls Deku and Bakugo aside, and it is now time for Deku to master learning Nana's quirk. All Might's master's quirk, which should be interesting. Next season, All Out War is happening. So much happened, and I feel like this season should have been a little longer, or they should have maybe like held off one of the arcs for the next season. There were some animations of Dabi Dobby season that just like pissed me off because he looked like awful. And I'm like, Dobby's supposed to be hot. Stop making him not hot. I hate it. I feel like they kind of did my boy Todoroki dirty in a couple shots, and I was like not happy about it. You know what? It's kind of like book to movie adaptations. You just kind of have to separate the two. They're not going to be perfect. I know that. Still enjoy the anime. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my thoughts. I'm going to review, like recap of season 5 of My Hero Academia. I don't know how many seasons of the show there are going to be, since I know for the manga they're kind of in the final arc. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. So I will see you guys with another video very soon. Bye guys. Go Beyond plus Ultra.